Dana here from DS Bookie, and I just wanted to say hello. Yeah, this week I'm going to be doing yet another review. I promised last week that I was going to review the book Gemina from the Illuminae Files series, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. So this book, Gemina, by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff, is actually the sequel to Illuminae, which are both part of the Illuminae Files series. Now, this book does follow two new characters, Hannah and Nick, who are on the space station Heimdall. I'm pretty sure that's what... Yes, haha, Heimdall, yes! And hopefully that is actually how you say it, because if it is not, I apologize. So Hannah is a socialite, but she is most importantly the captain's daughter. So she has a lot of power in this series, which is really cool. I love, just like in Illuminae where Katie has a lot of awesome hacking skills, Hannah is very adept at fighting and kicking ass and taking names, which is amazing because her father is the captain and he trained her to do all these things. Father-daughter relationships that are on good terms in a young adult novel. Oh, it's amazing. Saga, it is going to be a 4-part series to my knowledge. Started with Illuminae, started with an attack on the planet, and then the 3 ships that were moving to a safe place with Katie and Ezra. Now this one is centered around the spaceship Heimdall, space station Heimdall, which I mentioned earlier, and that is considered a safer place. It's where the ships in the universe will be able to jump from place to place through like the wormhole thing. The initial issue in this book, this one, lovely, is that there's something kind of off about the wormhole itself, and that's very disconcerting, especially since that is their one job, is to have this wormhole active and working properly. So Hannah, like I said, is the captain's daughter. She lives a very pampered life and has a boyfriend whose name is escaping me. It starts with a J. Johnson, I think is his last name. Who knows? Not me. Yay! And then the other character, Nick, is actually the son and one of the members in a very notorious crime family who mainly deal in pushing drugs on this space station, which Katie takes part in. So, kids, if you're watching this, don't do drugs. Stay in school. Stay safe. PSA by Dana. So Katie Grant is on the space... Hypatia. I'm saying Hypatia. If I'm wrong, I apologize again. Yeah, so she's on that, and they are headed right towards the Heimdall, talking about, or they have information about this attack that happened on their planet, Karenza. Yeah, so on their planet Karenza, this attack happened, being chased by this company called Bitech, which is the villain of this series. They're the ones who are trying to take advantage of the people who live on the planets and in the space stations and all these things. They are trying to basically conquer the galaxy. Where are the Guardians? Groot, where are you? The conflict really raises to another level when a Bitech strike team kind of strikes the space station Heimdall, and that's terrifying because, you know, a group of like 21 people coming in and trying to kill everyone on the space station, you know, that's just a normal day for all of our people in this series, because that's a really fun way to spend your time. But there is also another threat in this which I don't think is given enough credit, because they are absolutely terrifying. So how this drug is created is through the saliva of these nasty little worm things, which their name is escaping me because I never ever ever want to think of them again, because they are terrifying to me. Partially because I hate bugs, also partially because they look gross. But basically, if you can remember, if you ever watched the movie Pirates of the Caribbean 3, I believe it was. You know the Kraken with all the little teeth on the inside when it's trying to eat Jack? Yeah, that's what this little lizard thing's face looks like, is that crazy beak-infested thing. And they grow to be really long, and then they attach themselves to you, and they try and eat you. And I don't want to ever think about that. I was going to try and find a picture of them because there is one in this lovely book, and can't find it. I'm okay with that though. But yeah, so that is the second level of the threat that is happening. So basically at all times in these two books, I'm assuming for the rest of this series, it's just double threats at all times, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I understand it's an amazing plot development thing, and it's very, very well done, but I also don't like it for my anxiety and stress levels because, whew, that is some scary stuff that goes on in those. So, yeah, it does get quite intense in this book. If you haven't read this book yet, which I highly, highly, highly suggest that you read this entire series, and if you don't want to hear any spoilers, please pause the video, come back once you finished it. It won't take you long. It's only 666 pages. Yeah, read it now, and then come back to this point, because this is where we're starting the spoiler section. So, spoiler time. Cool. So, yeah, those worm things, no. Just no. Those are terrifying. I want those gone. Granted, I was fine when it was attacking the people from the Bitech elite squad. No, I'm not going to think about those things anymore because they are gross and gross and gross and gross and gross. Yeah, the little scenes with the cows when they're doing their little growing thing freaked me out, because they basically turned into zombie cows and then died. That wasn't fun. But, yeah, so now on to, like, actual other plot things other than the worms, because, ew. Yeah, so I really, really liked, Hannah and Nick's relationship. I know that, like, for the good first 3/4 of the books, they were kind of at each other's throats, but it was in a more friendly kind of way. I love it when characters go from, like, frenemies to friends and then to, like, love interests. It's just really cute. Granted, I thought it was kind of rushed, the whole romantic bit, but the Bitech people themselves were also very, very interesting. They weren't as compelling a villain as Aiden was for me from Illuminae, mainly because Aiden didn't really know he was a villain, but these people know that they're not doing the right thing and that they're killing innocent people, and yeah, it's just so mind trippy, this entire thing. So the first half of it is really cool because you see Hannah and Nick trying to work out what the hell is going on, first off, and then trying to save everyone that they can from their space station, and then trying to also kill off these bad guys who are trying to kill them. And it's just a lot going on, which is totally fine because Amie and Jay are excellent at multitasking for their characters. I really, really, really appreciate that. But then the second half, once Nick does the jump across, like, the wormhole area, that's when the emotions started more. When we see Nick die, that broke my heart. Like, almost worse than seeing Ezra almost die, because, like, at least Katie would have been able to have someone else in her life. She knew that her father was still alive. She hoped that her mother was still alive. But for Hannah, she has no one else. Her boyfriend could possibly be dead, though in the end I wanted him dead. Yay. Then, like, her father was brutally murdered. Like, she had no one else, and you could feel the despair that she had in that moment when he died. She was like, I have to keep going, but I can't because I am so hurt by this. And that was just really, really, really emotional. I love that they're able to get that emotion out of me because, granted, I'm a very emotional reader. I've said this before, and I will keep saying it because it is the truth. But it's just a lot of heaviness in that part, and I don't know, there's just something that really stuck with me from those scenes. I kind of knew in the back of my mind that something was like off with the whole wormhole jump, especially since like that rainbow feeling or whatever that Nick was saying, that was really kind of off for me, but I kind of just put it to the back of my mind and didn't really think about it until he brought it up again, like, oh yeah, maybe there is a parallel universe kind of thing. And speaking of the parallel universe, I really enjoyed how they did that. I thought it was very tastefully done. Normally when people are given the, oh yeah, JK, this one's the bad one, and like this one's the good universe, and like we'll just switch it and it'll be fine, like everything's hunky-dory kind of thing. I feel like they were able to do it without being cliche, which I really appreciated. I also adore how they brought Katie and Ezra back in, and the whole, like, everything was so cool. It's just, oh my goodness, I wish I could read these books for the first time again because it's just so interesting and like technically like flawless and everything. It's just, ugh, I just love it. Yeah, like I love how we do get to meet Katie's dad in this. He's the chief engineer for this space station, and he basically saves everyone, and he also doesn't get enough credit because he's amazing. She is amazing. Just that whole family is just top notch. Yeah, I love getting to see the interactions between Katie and Ezra and Nick and Hannah, just like all of them. And Aiden got another appearance. Yay, I love Aiden. So all of my favorites from Illuminae did get to come back. I also really enjoyed how they dealt with the plot twist from Hannah's like initial boyfriend, how he was actually the mole and like all of that, and then he was able to redeem himself. I do love redemption arcs. I thought that he was a total ass up until like 12 pages before the end of the book. Actually, I think it was like finished in like 2 pages before the end of the book, because they were like, oh yeah, JK, still alive. But there were so many twists and turns in this series, in this book, sorry, that were just amazing. My overall thoughts on this book is I really, really enjoyed it still. I think I like Illuminae just a slightly bit better just because of Aiden and how he's my favorite person ever. Favorite artificial intelligence, he's not a person. Yeah, but I really did like how the plot was developed. It all went on very smoothly and it worked a lot. Yeah, so if you stuck through all of that, all of those spoilers, and still haven't read the book, please, please, please pick up this book if you have already read Illuminae. If you haven't, pick up both of the books. Do it now. They are amazing, and you should definitely do it. These authors, like I said before, are so cool and so awesome. If you ever have a chance to meet them, do it. Like, you won't regret it. Yeah, so overall, I really, really, really recommend this series. I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out. And yeah, I think that just about does it. If you liked this video, if you could give it a thumbs up down below, and if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. Please check out my previous video. I have one hooked up right here, and then my channel little thing. I have a ton more videos that not a ton. I have a few other videos that you would be able to check out if you wanted to. Yeah, so I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!